I'm Mike Uyek. I love to try new things, and I've had culinary adventures all around the world, as well as right at home. I've had really wonderful food, as well as some really horrible food. I'd like to share some of my adventures with you, and we'll see if I have what it takes to fix whatever goes wrong. This is Recipe Redemption.
Greetings and salutations, Redeemers, and welcome to today's episode of Recipe Redemption. Today we turn our attention to the Watergate Salad, a relatively simple combination of just a few ingredients that creates something potentially tasty and definitely horrifying. Much like other dishes that have become associated with a location, like Parker House rolls from the Parker House Hotel, and the Waldorf salad for the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. The Watergate salad actually has nothing directly to do with either the Watergate Hotel in Washington, D.C., although it has been served there in the past, nor the Watergate scandal that happened at that very hotel in 1972. In 1974, the year that Nixon resigned the presidency in the wake of the Watergate scandal, a recipe for a Watergate cake came out. This cake featured pistachio-flavored pudding mix as its main flavoring ingredient in both the cake itself and often in the icing, which gave the finished cake a distinctive green hue. The author of the recipe, one Christine Hatcher of Hagerstown, Maryland, said she got it from a friend of a friend and had jokingly called it the Watergate cake because of all the nuts that were in it, like the Watergate scandal, I guess. Later published versions claimed the name came from the fact, like the scandal, the cake also had a cover-up. Sure, all very tongue-in-cheek. At about the same time, Jell-O introduced a new recipe in which you could use their new pistachio pudding mix. The Pistachio Pineapple Surprise. Because it too was phosphorescently shamrock shake green, it became associated with the cake, and people started calling it Watergate Salad, and the rest is culinary history. It became popular enough that the Watergate Hotel actually started serving Watergate Salad.
The recipe's pretty simple. Start off with pistachio pudding, Jell-O brand pistachio pudding that I made with the juice from a can of crushed pineapple, and including the pineapples here, chopped nuts, marshmallows, and whipped cream. And I'm just going to fold all these ingredients together. And once again, pro tip, use a bowl that's big enough, has enough spare room that when you mix it, you don't have to worry about it slopping all over the countertop. But anyway, in order to maintain the fluffiness, to preserve all the air that I spent all that time whipping into my whipped cream, you're going to want to fold, don't just mix. So very gently fold this together until it's a uniform minty green that looks a little bit more like chunky toothpaste than food. But this will take a few minutes, but your patience will be rewarded, I think.
So, here it is. I'm in a red room, so at least on the video display for the camera right now, this actually looks kind of white, but just take it from me. It's very minty green looking. It's green. Full disclosure, I really don't like pistachio pudding to begin with. So I don't know if adding all this stuff to it is really going to improve it any. Here goes. Hmm. It's lighter than just straight pistachio. I almost said potassium. Pistachio pudding because it's half whipped cream. Um, because it's thinned out, the little pieces of chopped nuts in there are almost a distraction. They feel like they're a little bit too big to just swallow outright, but too small to bother chewing. So you don't really know what to do. The pineapple kind of disappears, honestly, and the marshmallows are just sort of, because they're just sweet. They kind of disappear. Flavor wise, they definitely disappear, and texture wise, they're just sort of like a surprisingly slightly chewier bit in the overall mix, but they feel like they softened up quite a bit. I'm not a huge fan, but like I said, I'm not all that hot on pistachio pudding to begin with. So, redemption, I'd probably try the cake sometime. Um, because there's going to be a lot more there to chew on, and I think sort of a little bit of toasting and whatnot that comes with baking the cake will help improve the flavor, and the texture will be much better. Um, this isn't that bad for something made with pistachio pudding. And a lot of people who grow up in the mid 70s actually sort of reminisce about this stuff online in some of my forums. There are a lot of people who say, "Oh yes, I love Watergate Salad. I still make it to this day." I just I have a thing about pistachio pudding, as I've said, and I have a thing about sweet salads. I I know that things like macaroni salad and even like ambrosia are technically considered salad. I'm really hard pressed to call this a salad. I don't know why I'm still eating it. Gotta put that down. This isn't my favorite, by a long shot. But I kind of get it. Much like ambrosia, for most people anyway, this is a reasonably inoffensive flavor, though the color is a little alarming for those who don't know what it is. So that being said, you can make this without it being green by making your own pistachio pudding. Using real, undyed pistachios. Soak them in milk overnight. Then strain the milk and use that to make regular pudding with a pistachio flavor to it. Then add the pineapple, marshmallows, and whipped cream as before, and enjoy a more cream-colored salad slash confection without the assault to the eyes. I think that would turn out a little bit more appealing in appearance, at least, if not flavor. But I don't wanna. I love pistachios, but pistachio pudding, not so much. So I'm not gonna try because it tastes like pistachio pudding. I'm sure that the homemade pistachio pudding will be slightly better in quality, but it will have the same effect. So there's not really a redemption there. Like I said, I would try the cake sometime. I wasn't able to find a recipe for the Watergate cake, but I think that would be better. But that's not really a redemption of the Watergate salad. I'm not 100% sure what to do about that, or if it needs to really. It's just not something that I'm going to make again. But what do you think? Do you think there's any way to redeem this or improve upon it, um, more than turning it back into the cake from whence it came? Any ideas that you have, please post them down below in the comments section. As always, be sure to like and subscribe and share with all your friends, family, neighbors, complete enemies, strangers, whoever. Share far and wide. The more eyeballs I can get onto these videos, the more I'm inclined to make. So, until next time, I'd like to thank you for watching. I'm Mike Uyak, and we'll see you here again on Recipe Redemption.